Hey everyone, I have a Dell 5300 2-in-1 that I recently purchased as a refurbished device off of Amazon. Got a great deal on it. However, although the keyboard worked, some of the keys were really sticky and didn't work very well. I tried to remove the keys and take them apart, try to fix it, see if something was in there that was corroded or some kind of mess or junk or dust or whatever, and it really didn't fix them all. So I decided to buy another keyboard. Bought a cheaper $15 to $20 keyboard off Amazon, and I replaced it about 2 weeks ago. Worked great. It was a nice feel. Did well on that. However, what I didn't realize when I originally purchased it was it did not have the additional ribbon for the backlight, so I lost that functionality. I was okay with it, but after about a week I thought I really want that backlight. So this video outlines me taking the laptop, this Dell Latitude, apart again based on what I learned previously, and replacing it with, quite honestly, another keyboard off Amazon with the same model number and everything, except it also included the backlight. And so that's what this video is. It's not perfect. I was recovering, still am, from being a little bit under the weather, so I apologize for some of the coughs and the things like that. But it's a half an hour video of tearing down, taking out the hard drives and the battery, the memory, and even the CPU and the fan on a laptop, which can be a little intimidating the first time through. But we make it through. We didn't lose any screws. We put it all back together, and amazingly it worked. So enjoy the video. All right, I have a Dell Latitude 5300 2-in-1. It's the model P96. Very nice touchscreen. I bought it refurbished just here a few weeks ago, and in the process thought, hey, this is pretty good. The keyboard that came with it, unfortunately, had some problems. This is actually, let's just power it completely down, power off. So the keyboard that came with it was this one. As you can see, it has two cables that come off of it, ribbon cables. First one here is for the actual keyboard. The second one here is for the, let's make sure it's in focus, is for the backlight. So I went off Amazon and actually, there's the actual 18G3 RFA2. I bought another one just like it off Amazon, except what I didn't pay attention to, unfortunately, was that it did not have backlight capability. So because it had no backlight, I did go ahead and replace it. The keyboard was much better, but it had no backlight. So that's why I want to go through and update this. Now, I got a nice little kit here with the various items that I'm going to need. I'm going to use this, and let's see. We will need, pretty much we just need a Phillips screwdriver for taking off most of these, and then I'll show you some of the connectors that need to be. By the way, the new one that I bought here off Amazon also, about $20, but it has that additional cable that's needed. And when we take this one out, we'll see what the original one looks like. Now, there are 3 screws in the back, 2 screws in the back or in the front, 3 here through the middle. You will find, doing this, that all these screws are exactly the same size. So there's not a need like some Macs or some devices where you've got to keep track of which one goes in one spot. They're all the same. So 1, 2, trying to get off. Now some people use guitar picks. Some people use, I've got these nice little, whatever these are, pry pieces. So I'm just going to go, there are a few places here at the corner that seem to make it a little bit easier. And it's the power of wanting to get these in. But bottom line is the sides, let's zoom in here, the sides you want to pull out. You want to pull out a little bit. And that will allow that to be released. So you can see I'm kind of pulling up. Okay, and now that I'm going to go around to the I'm trying to see where this best. As you make your way around, taking your time, I find it. Release those tabs. Now around this side where there's the SD card, it can be a little bit funky just because, but it will. Take your time, just take your time. Of course, also be kind of careful with this because you don't want those screws flying out. I suppose. Whoa, there we go. And it lifts off. We have liftoff. Yay. Now what I'm going to do, because I don't want to lose track of which one where, I'm going to put that screw back in there. And quite honestly, I think that'll just stay just fine. So I'm going to set this off to the side carefully. Fortunately, for the sake of what we're doing here, let me use this red one. This obviously is your battery. Normally you should have 3 screws here. Mine did not. I'm wondering if somebody else took care of it, but we will have to previously. This is a great time to put in memory. Last time the fan here and the cooling fan was very dirty, so I cleaned that out. This will have to come off. Basically everything you see here comes off. The battery has to come off. The battery, the memory will come out because this guard around it comes off. And the keyboard covers up here at the top, or yeah, not keyboard, the screen covers that help hold that on. And down, a lot of these connectors will have to come off carefully, and we'll disconnect a lot of these smaller pieces. So we'll start off. Again, yours should probably have 3 screws. Mine does not, and I guarantee it's not because I lost anything last time. This has, and I've seen videos, this simply moves out and it's clicked here in the back. But as you take this out, sometimes this cable, I've noticed, will be on top and sometimes it'll be underneath. So we'll just simply carefully remove this sticker that helps it stay put, and then pull this out. There we go. And set the battery off. A lot of these connectors, you can see, by the way, right here is ultimately, once this cable is put in here, it will be like this, or no, it's like this from underneath. This cable should go here, and this is the light, the backlight, and it should go in this connector piece. But of course, the current keyboard that I replaced with does not have the backlight. But that is the keyboard right there. So we can very carefully, this flips up, and then this can simply pull out. Normally we would flip this one up too and pull that one out, but it's not there. I find on these are some of the connectors for the front. They're just slightly glued down a little bit. So we will pull that up, and again, goes up, and carefully pull that out. Same for this one. You're better off, you can take it off either side. I found it better off of other trial and error to pop this up and pull this one out carefully. And there we go. Literally stick this down somewhere else and keep this out of the way. Alright, well on our way. This is interesting that these little things are here, because I think that is actually for keeping the battery down. I just realized that. Okay, while we're here, we'll go ahead and take out the SD card. We'll take it out, put it aside. I'm going to put that screw back in there so that I don't lose it. I know where it goes. So now we start working. I'm going to suggest that we take off, actually let's take the memory out, since keeping that in there. Put it off to its side, and we'll have to take this off, And fortunately these are all the same size and magnetic. Just those three. Carefully come off. Put those there. Alright, great. Let's back off a little bit because now we're a little too close. Just so you can see, up here I put this, and I actually mark on my cardboard what it is that goes to, what those screws go to. Just makes it easier, I think. Alright, so great. Now then, let's see. This little speaker area should come out. This is not, all these things are so fragile. Push that out. The battery one is usually glued under here. You don't have to take it fully off, but it will. This top part is going to flip out of the way here in a few minutes. So that's key. I think we'll be okay there. Let's go ahead and remove these retaining clips that are for the screen. For there. Alright. And then these can move up out of the way. There we go. Carefully. Oh. And what's really odd, I had a little bit of corrosion here in this top left corner, so I think at some point it got kind of wet with a previous person. Also, I had a little problem with the screen previously after I put it back. Right in here is where the HDMI, effectively that's an HDMI cable, and that has to come off that bracket. I just keep the little bracket with itself. Pour that over to the side. Let me make some notes. Okay, and then this carefully will have to come off. Actually, you know, I don't think last time I did take that off. I just had to remove that bracket, but I'm wondering, actually, I might not have had to. Okay. Okay. Now we start with this area over here with the, what is that, sound card and a USB-C. That little bracket has to come off. And it's kind of a weird one. Oh, there's a bolt on each, or a screw on each side. There's no bolts in here. There are no bolts. Okay. And then this carefully kind of snaps in right here. This, so it comes out right there. And now let's start going around the board. I'm gonna start left and work my way around. Just kind of keeps the flow. So starting over in this section, this is one that's put in as part of the case. So I come up here and there's this one. And I come around, and we'll get to this in a minute. Previously there was some tape there and it did not want to go back together nicely, so I just used thermal tape. Last time I took the CPU off. I'm kind of wondering if I don't need to this time. We'll see. Okay, so I come around here. There's a screw here. It's much less of a mystery this time around. Okay, so let me carefully pry. See what gives and what doesn't give. Okay, there's something still kind of... Oh, this is starting to go. Ah, and here's the problem. This is not coming out nicely with this. So, alright, we're just going to have to... This is why I had to do it. We'll just replace that. Okay, not a big deal. So, this is the fan. This was a good time last time I cleaned that out. So Is there another one up there? Don't think so. Oh, yeah, and that. Okay, so down here, got to take this piece out. And we'll set this off to the side. And again, what I'll do is I'll take this and put the screw back in there, and then that just notes where it is. Now you can see this is part of this. I'm going to try to keep this together. Otherwise, if you have to take this off, you have to put thermal paste underneath here, under this section. But hopefully we don't need to. I honestly kind of, oh, look at that, look at that. Now, what's kind of keeping on? Okay, this piece. Boy, it feels like I did take that off last time. Yeah, there we go. Just so it doesn't create strife. I don't know if I really would have had to. Well, I feel like something is keeping this on. Oh, this headphone jack got to come out. And there we go. Carefully flip up and over. Well, this is much easier than last time. Here's the keyboard. There's this plastic piece on top of it. Why? Well, protector. So again, I'm just going to work my way around. I'm missing one screw right here because when I was putting it together last time, the screw went flying by accident and it was no more. Let me get a different container for just the keyboard. Okay, it's getting kind of dark in here. I did not take off the full plastic. I just lifted up what I needed. On there. One thing to remember, the screen is right below, and I'm doing this on top of the screen. If I were a professional, I'd probably put something underneath this, because, well, look at that. Actually, maybe I will take this up out of the way. Makes more sense. I did not do that last time. With all its glory. Are we in focus? Good enough. Okay. Okay. Now then, that's everything, and we begin carefully picking up and that up and around, bring it down, and now we have this. Yay. Now then, there are a few screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 screws. So let's take those off. And again, these are the same as what was on the other, but I kept them separate because out. Oh, nope. 5. There's one way up here. Way up here, yonder in the pawpaw patch. What do you know about that? Okay, so 5. Now it lifts up and out. Yay, a keyboard I don't need. But now we get this. Oh, nice new clean. Alright, too bad I didn't pay attention to which direction that was. It was this way, right? Yeah, because then it would go down in there that way. Yep, okay. So again, let's hope this one lines up. I really didn't look at it too much. Well, that's weird. It works. Okay. So that's there. Pins fit. Nice. Okay, so let's reverse everything. Actually better. Okay, let's line this up. Oh, look at that. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Alright, that
physically looks like it's in the right place. So we'll flip it back over and start assembling. I'm going to do a few at the top now. Losing. I mean, it really can't shift much, not like you have to align much. Okay, so the end of my screwdriver is slightly magnetic, which is very helpful because it goes in. Okay, now I've kind of got, I'm going to do the corners, and then basically I'll work my way around until the screws are, I'm either out of screws or out of holes. I'm gonna put it all back together. It's not like 10,000. You know what? This has still crud on there. I'm just gonna clean that off real quick while I got it. I sprayed for corrosion last time. I sprayed some a little bit of vinegar. Just ate away the corrosion, and then cleaned that out. And then I went back and I used, sorry, I can't talk and do this part. I'm not very talented. Okay, carefully, this should go up there. Now, in theory, this should go back in roughly where it came out. Although, I'll be honest, I'll lift this up. I feel like it went a little bit better last time, but aha, slide in. Yes. So it kind of has to slide in on that way and then put it down. So kind of slide in and then down. And then put that back in there. Carefully put this back. I think I could have left the HDMI cable alone. I think that would have been fine. I was kind of nervous about that. I don't think I did that last time. Alright, let me go ahead and, since we're here, a bunch of our friends. And of course this is prone to coming off, I'm guessing. That's why they have a separate item here. And I will say, that looks good. Now if I were really smart, I could, kind of test it, but I'm going to leave it here. Alright, let's put this back in. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't have to take off that CPU. That was kind of a pain, and I didn't want to. Let's be honest, I just didn't want to. I'm lazy. Okay, I don't see any gaps where I'm like anything. In fact, I could have left this thing on. Well, no, because you have to take that off, and then that kind of, I probably could have left it on. Okay, by the way, there's this little metal piece here that has to kind of snap in. That's under there if you do take that off. Not a big deal. Alright, cool. Let's plug this carefully back in. Honestly, so for this tape, the case is going to help hold that. That just kind of insulates it. Man, I'm happy I didn't take that off. Okay, let's carefully put these hinges for the screen. This gets a little tricky in my opinion because it's kind of got a, I don't feel good about these screens. I feel like there's so many pieces because it's a 2-in-1, so it kind of, it hinges in a couple of places. I'm a little bit nervous. Okay, there's that one. I'm just gonna make it a little straighter and then put this in. I know this is not optimal view, but it's what I got. If I made it fully straight, it might do better, but I don't know. Yeah, got too many screws hooked on. Okay. I'm afraid as this hinge, it just feels like you could really mess things up. Now I'm gonna gently bring it back down. Alright, now that I can put the rest of this back together. And this is tricky because you don't want to go to the outside. That's for the corner of the entire... Oh. Before I do that, I gotta put this on. Oh good, that does work. And it has to go in there, but fortunately that can be put on after the hinge or before or whatever. So whew, we almost got ourselves into a pickle. As an RV group, thanks Hanks. Look them. That's not the name of their channel. I can't remember the name of their channel now. But Happily Ever Hanks, that's the name of the channel. And they talk about when you rush into things or do things, you kind of get yourself into a problematic area or into a pickle. So I find that I end up talking about that. Got myself into a pickle. Nobody wants to be in a pickle. Alright, this is looking good. Let's go ahead and put the memory thing back on. There should be 3 screws. That's what I've learned now. Alright, so let's start reassembling. This just lays on top of there. Hopefully that still fits. We didn't do anything there. This goes in here. Now, I gotta get my old man glasses out. Let's see if we can. Okay. Alright, here. I'm gonna start with this little one. And that's already up. And the stickiness is still there. That's good. Now then, let's put in this. And this. This one has a little bit of tendency to want to be annoying. There we go. Now, I think everything's back on. There was nothing there, was there? Nope, nothing there. That's on. Not memory card, but the hard drive, which is not a hard drive, but a solid state drive. Oops, I'm way off the screen. What a dork. Okay. These are speakers, by the way. I'm pretty sure here on the side. Right. So this one. Should have labeled that better. And actually, I think the other one, it's actually over here. I actually don't know if there is one that goes there. It looks like mine did not. Alright. So before I get too crazy, I'm going to plug the battery back in. By the way, if you just need to replace the battery, this is all that's required. It's easier to put in first and then drop this in. Okay. And these line up. Now, right here should be working. So I'm going to test it out and make sure things come up and the keyboard works. So let's see. Okay, this is promising. Lights come on. Oh, the keyboard light's on. Woohoo! As the original. I think it's just the lights on there. Okay, so that's me. Keyboard feels nice. Alright. Sound still works. Nice. Everything seems very good. Let's bring up a terminal. Touchscreen makes it so handy, and not as much travel maybe as the original, but not bad. Echo. Okay, I like it. Alright, there we go. Okay, so carefully put this back on. Key is also on this side over here. This can get in the way, so make sure that stays out of the way, because that hole right there has to be clear. Alright, now we just go around, tighten these all up. And we are done. Let's make sure it still works. And it's back. Good. It's still working, and that makes me happy. Not to mention, touchscreen still works great. So, am I happy? Yes, I am happy.